use a dub, I'ma win, I won't lose with this. Ayy, yeah, I'ma act a fool with this. Ayy, yeah, I'ma act a fool with this. Ayy, yeah, I'ma act a fool with this. Ayy, turn the knob, can't resist, I'm incredible. Yeah, came for the dollars, call it vegetable. Then I did the dash, can I catch me, bro? Ooh, then I did the dash, can I catch me, whoa? Your whole team is no competition. Boy, I did it by myself, it's a solo mission. Running up the charts, I'm a fool, dog. Turn the whole field to a schoolyard. Bunch of students ain't eating round here. I'm the GOAT, little man, and I made it loud and clear. Put the gas on them like I whipped the Cavalier. Show no love, got the confidence, no fear. I use a dub, I'ma win, I won't lose with this. Ay, yeah, I'ma act a fool.
EA Sports coverage of the National Football League brings us to historic Baltimore, Maryland, and M&T Bank Stadium. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Cleveland Browns and the Baltimore Ravens. Season has hit high gear, and off we go in Week 11 on EA Sports. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line.
Supposed to be awkward. If you know, you know. That's the reason we ball for. Circle round twice for the encore. If you know, you know.
On first down, Haywood, and he'll be upended at the 28-yard line. Just a 3-yard gain there. A gain of 3, second down. Not a whole lot there. The defense was ready, it looked, for that run-pass option.
You get the sense that next time he has that opportunity, he may keep it himself and get to the perimeter. Probably owes his back a little bit of an apology on that one, huh?
Here's 2nd and 7 now from the 28. They go play action with Jackson. Flush to his right. And a big loss here as he's taken down. Myles Garrett, he's the one to get him, and that is sack number 7 for him on the year.
Well, many times when you talk about mobile quarterbacks, you get the sense that they feel like they can get out of any bad situation. They keep moving around and trying to emulate guys like the Scrambler or the Dodger. Instead, they keep losing yardage and digging themselves a hole that they can't get out of.
And I don't think this is the script they had in mind for their opening drive. This is 3rd and long. They go play action now. Jackson buying time to his left. He's going to run, but he's got a long way to go. And he is out of bounds, able to get it across the 20-yard line. A solid run of 11 there as he tucked it and ran, but he's still short of the marker at its 4th. And now we'll see punter Tyler Newsome. And the win last week punted 4 times as this one's away. Fielded just inside the 30. A very nice punt that time, but they get 11 back on the return. And the Browns will take over 1st and 10. Mayfield going to lead the Browns up now, 1st and 10 at the 41-yard line. A first carry now for Nick Chubb. Fights through and now a crease. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. He's able to rip off 32 on that one. It's a first down. They had a chance to limit his yardage, but he was able to fight off that tackle.
So it's not just the responsibility of the guys who missed the tackles along the way. It's all 11 on defense, able to stop this guy, unable to do it on that play. They've got to find a way. How about his ability to break through and gain that yardage?
And now the Raven defense going to call a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. First and 10, and they've got 3 tight ends out there. A jumbo package look. They run again on first down. Chubb down to the 25. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
Whenever we talk about the best strong safeties, one word constantly comes up, and that's instincts. Being able to diagnose run or pass and make the appropriate moves.
He crashed down hard there. He was ready for that running play. The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. Mayfield hands it off to Chubb. And they'll work it inside the 15-yard line before it's all said and done. 12 yards there and a first down.
Well, there's plenty of real estate for him to maneuver on that run, and let's face it, it shouldn't be a surprise. He's one of the better backs in the league. Had to come into this game with the idea, slow him down, otherwise it's going to be a long afternoon.
Here's a 1st and 10 at the 14-yard line. To throw, Mayfield. He'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. No gain on the screen there. It's 2nd down.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained, so they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He could make a man or 2 miss, but that window closed quickly. And this is caught. Touchdown, Cleveland. Odell Beckham, his 6th touchdown of the season. And the Browns have taken the early lead. And he's a little bit on the shorter side as a receiver. Maybe sometimes for the defense, tough to find the little guys, right?
Yeah, sometimes they get lost in the traffic, but usually what it means is that rather than just winning with height or even speed, they use their quickness to find a way to get open.
Well, tall, short, wide, skinny, whatever, there it results in a touchdown. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback.
25-yard line.
The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. And, Charles, if the season ended today, and it's not going to, we still have December left.
More football.
We're only in November. But they would be a wild card team, and that's great. They'd be in the playoffs, but you know they're trying to bump up to be one of those division leaders.
That guarantees you at least one home game in the playoffs, and that's what you're really seeking. But there also isn't much margin for error for this team, right? Because right where they're sitting, a 2-game losing streak could have them out of the playoffs, so they've got to make sure they continue to keep the momentum going.
Absolutely. There's some sharks smelling blood in the water behind them.
Check, 59. Right here, right here. Switch. Watch twitch. Hey, move.
From the 31, Jackson flushed out right. And I think the ball's out. And this is going to get out of bounds, so they will gain a bit of yardage on the play, actually, and they'll hold on to the football as well. They're already trailing here in this first quarter. Last thing they needed was to cough the football. Well, they coughed it up, but luckily for them, it went out of bounds.
Yeah, still a long way to go, but when you're losing, every possession takes on a little bit more importance, doesn't it? And in that case, they almost made this game a lot more difficult for themselves by turning it over. Fortunate there.
Got a man, and he hits him in stride. And he will have a Ravens first down as they're able to get the third down conversion. 12 yards to pick up there. Good for a Raven first.
That's a play that will likely be forgotten when you talk about big moments in this game. But plays like this are critical to keep drives going. And if points result, we'll call this play significant.
On 1st and 10, it's Jackson. Man open left side is Brown. And he's out of bounds just before the midfield stripe at the 49. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up second down.
9-yard line.
Now a give, right side. Haywood. And he'll take it down shy of the 45 at the 46. A gain of 5, good enough for the first down.
Defensively here, you're facing a top 5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high-powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20. Because to me, that's the magic number. 20 points scored gives yourself you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace.
And they'll let the quarterback keep it here on 1st and 10. Quick strike out wide by Jackson. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up second down. With these run-pass options, we often talk about a good quarterback and running back. Well, having a talented wide receiver helps also.
Yeah, even coming in third in the discussion, sometimes that means he really should be first, because all you want to do is get the ball in their hands and let them make the big plays downfield.
They'll try the left side. Haywood. And this Browns defense coming to life. They get him behind the line for a second straight play. A loss on that play, and now third down gets tougher. 3rd and 6. They're going option play on third down. Here's a quick throw out left. It's complete. And he will have a Ravens first down as they're able to get the third down conversion. And they just keep marching right along. First down on a pickup of 8 there. And he'll give it here to his running back. And he'll get a little over 2, maybe a full 3 down to the 32-yard line.
He's tackled at the 32-yard line.
After 1, 7-0 on EA Sports.
With the score, Browns 7, Ravens 0.
The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. Play action. Now Jackson. And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's third down.
It's another zone defense. It looks like it's open for possibilities, but they did a nice job patrolling the middle of the field and forcing an incompletion.
They need to get this to the 24 on third down. Now Jackson going to run. So no sack. He gets back to the line of scrimmage, but it'll still bring up a 4th down.
And while he did a good job of sliding around in the pocket, there was nowhere to go with the football, so he had to take off and try and run. He just got back to the line of scrimmage, no gain.
A 49-yard attempt.
And this one is right down Broadway. And they are on the board, but still trailing. It's 7-3. So a dozen plays on that drive, CD, but in the end, it yields just the 3 points.
Well, they were able to keep the defense on the field for a long time, but let's be honest about it. That's about as unsatisfying a drive as you're going to get. 12 plays, and you only get 3 points out of it. Not quite the ending they were looking for.
That's fielded on the back line of the end zone.
Take over 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
The Browns drive about to get started. And, you know, it's certainly a lot of football left to play. We're not into December yet, but right now where we stand, they're in first place in their division, looking really good and looking to be a threat come January.
And are you one of those early holiday shoppers, partner? Are you one of those guys get your list done? Because I think about what every team has on their holiday shopping list right now. What's the number 1 goal? Make the playoffs. Number 2, win your division. Number 3, and I think the biggest goal of all, try to get the number 1 seed so you get that first-round bye and ensure you don't have to go anywhere in January and hopefully get to the Super Bowl that way.
And now Mayfield on the bootleg. Trying to get it to Beckham, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Marlon Humphrey. And he'll take this back down inside the 20. That throw, Charles, over the middle of the field, and a few too many bodies in there got picked.
That's a normal situation, too, isn't it? No matter how hard you try and spread the field sometimes, there's always going to be a traffic jam, it feels like, towards the middle. And if there's any type of a missed throw, or maybe the ball's tipped, or just too many bodies in the area, an interception can result.
This will be a 5-yard pickup as they move it from the 20 to the 15.
Now that's exactly what you want on a first down run. Pick up 5 yards, bring up 2nd and 5. The defensive line, though, they've got to figure out a way to out-leverage the guys up front because the offensive line is winning at the point of attack.
The first down run got 5. Here's 2nd and 5. Now a give, right side. Haywood, and nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. They'll say no gain on the play there, and now it'll be 3rd down.
No gain on the play. Brings up 3rd down and 5.
On 3rd down, they're going to go with the option. And he'll go down. Brought down at the 20-yard line. Defensively, they were all over that. When he decided to keep it, there were a lot of eyes just darted on him.
I wonder if he followed the progressions properly there. I think maybe he really wanted to run with the football. Turned out not to be the correct decision.
And Tucker missed it left. Normally reliable, this time no good. And this score will stay right where it is. The Browns drive about to get started. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack them here. Took just one play to move all the way to the 44 as they try again on 1st down. From the shotgun, it's Mayfield. It's complete to Brown, right side. And he'll get up near the 45. They'll spot it at the 44. A good rally to the football keeps him to only a yard, and it's 2nd down.
At the 44-yard line.
Working out of the gun, Mayfield. quickly into the hands of Beckham. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Browns touchdown.
To Odell
Beckham with his second touchdown of the game, number 7 on the year. And the Browns add on to their lead. The electric OBJ, the short reception, and then he did the rest of the work himself.
You know, there's a thing that the players always talk about, the coaches in the league, they call it play speed. Because, you know, we have that time speed when we're running the 40s at the combine and, you know, in pro days and all of that. But play speed is different. And OBJ's play speed is some of the best in the league. In other words, when he has the ball in his hands or he's running a route, he runs it just a little bit harder than most people. And oftentimes, you come up wrong on your angles trying to tackle him.
The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going. Their deficit is 11, 14-3, and needing to get something going here as they come up on 1st and 10. Here's a throw to his running back. It's complete. And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. The drive starting with a first down, 11 yards on that pickup.
That is definitely what we call on defense an uh-oh play. And what you mean by that is against Lamar Jackson, when you see him out of the pocket, your first thought is, uh-oh, he's going to try and run it. How do I get to him and get him on the ground? And guess what? That didn't happen, and his receivers took advantage.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10.
Under 10, under 10, 10. No. Report. Hey.
To throw is Jackson. He'll rifle this one deep right side. And that is incomplete.
To this point, I've been impressed with the work defensively. They have not allowed a lot of receivers to run free. And there's another example, another incompletion.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 as they line up 2nd and 10. Play action. It's Jackson. And a big loss here as he's taken down.
Jackson sack.
Myles Garrett make that now 8 sacks for him on the season.
Brings up 3rd down.
Here's Jackson on 3rd and long. Pressure gets to him, and down he goes. Back at the 4-yard line.
A big loss on the play. Brings
The Ravens send their punter out now. We've got a 14-3 ball game with 2 minutes left in the opening half. And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. And this punt goes out of bounds, and it'll be marked inside the 40.
1st and 10 at their own 37-yard line.
The Browns drive about to get started, and they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there. He did a fine job there of not hitting him before the ball arrived, and I've got to tell you, you can often mistime that play because of the angles of approach. When you're going to get him, sometimes you panic as well and think, I've got to be there right now. Instead, in this case, timed it perfectly and knocked it free.
And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's 3rd down.
When you run in the slant, timing is everything, and against that man coverage, there was no space available, and incompletion as a result.
Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. Mayfield off the play fake. And that is incomplete.
That might be the 3rd down stop that they needed because they've had a lot of trouble slowing down this offense in the first half. This might be their opportunity to get off the field.
The Browns send out their punter now as he's on to punt for the first time this afternoon. And this will hit just beyond the goal line as it's into the end zone for a touchback.
Their own 20-yard line.
The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. And they'll get it all the way up about 5 yards shy of midfield. Big yardage there on the scramble. It gets them a first down.
Partner, it's often that man coverage is easier for a quarterback to run against. You get your receivers going downfield. Those guys are staying with them, and oftentimes they have their back to the quarterback, which opens up a lot of space and room, and they don't even know that he's taken off with it. What a big-time pickup on that play.
Now a play fake here on first down. And the Browns pressure gets to him that time, and he's going to go down. Myles Garrett in there to get him, and on the season now, that is 9 sacks for him. They come up on 2nd and long, and the pass protection just has not been there this afternoon. And that'll be incomplete. We do have a penalty flag down, however. Let's see what that's about. In the pocket, chucked it away, flag comes down.
So you got to move a little bit, right? Know where you are on the field, have some awareness. Tackle to tackle. You got to get outside of that tackle box in order to get that done.
So now it's 3rd and long, because remember, they also lose a down on the grounding call. Incomplete, 7 seconds remaining. The passing game not in sync here early, and now it's 4th down.
Williams on the coverage.
Here's Tyler Newsome now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. He gets us away. It's a good one, drawing toward the sidelines. And the punt over the side in the air, and the spot will be inside the 35.
At their own 31-yard line.
The Browns drive about to get started. And from this spot in the field with the clock where it's at, you think we're just going to see a knee and that's it?
And I think in this situation, that's the proper play. But we do know there's some risk takers out there that may want to take one more shot before the clock runs out.
So we have reached halftime here in an 11-point contest. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach, ready for the second half. 14-3 our score as we are back underway on EA Sports. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback.
At their own 19-yard line.
And now the Raven defense going to call a timeout. It's just their first, so 2 remaining as they burn one here in this 3rd quarter. The 3rd quarter starts with a run by Chubb. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down.
That's a really nice job by them picking up the run blitz and detecting it and blocking it and turning it into a nice run. And a lot of times you think if you blitz a running play, you're going to smother it. But a lot of the blitzers, they come in a little bit high. They don't have great leverage, and they're easily blocked and turned to the side.
Now they're going to be dealing with a 3rd and 7. Is that one officially a loss of 1?
And plays like that are exactly what this defense needs here early in the second half to give it a little spark. spark. I think their halftime adjustments, what they talked about, maybe it's just a little inspirational speech. Who knows? But looks like they're ready to go.
And that will be incomplete.
How about some applause for the defense there? They forced him to throw that one into coverage, and just like that, they're staring at a 4th down. Well done.
The Browns send out their punter now, as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. This will be fielded at the 17. And when it's said and done, it's a 58-yard punt. And the Ravens, they'll take over. The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going. And, Charles, they trail by a couple of scores, but if they could put a good drive together here, it'd go a long way toward getting them back in this football game.
And if you're looking at a checklist of things that they need to do in the second half, job number 1 was getting a stop, wasn't it? So, big check right there. Now they want to see if their offense can build on that momentum.
2nd and 10 now from the 27. Throwing again. Jackson. He's going to rifle one deep left side. And that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long one way out there, but it'll be 3rd down.
I'm sure this isn't a novel thought, but maybe run some simpler routes instead of trying to get it all back in one shot. Defense certainly appears to be ready for them. Try and get it back little by little instead of in big chunks.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down.
What we got?
From the gun, it's Jackson. And he's taken down. This will be a Brown sack.
This has been a tough one for this offensive line. It appears almost like they've been on roller skates this entire game, the way they've been pushed around. 6 sacks given up in this one.
The Ravens send their punter out now. He's been one of their few bright spots so far. This is away and a very good kick, angled for the sidelines. And the punt goes out of bounds. Where will they put it? They'll put it just inside the 45-yard line. The Browns drive about to get started. This crew had to punt last time they had the ball, but when you've got a lead like this, you content to play the field position game?
You are to an extent, especially if you like your...
Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 46. And he'll take it across midfield and down to the 48-yard line.
And, Brandon, this is a real nice job defensively of getting inside a quarterback's head and figuring out, okay, where's he going with the football? Because you can make an educated guess defensively. Not all the time, but sometimes. And when you're right, you've got a decent chance of coming away with the football.
He's going to fire one deep, middle of the field. Got a man, it's caught for a Ravens touchdown. A big play there. Touchdown number 15 on the year. And the Ravens turn that interception into a touchdown. And with the rules as touchy as they can be, it's so hard to complete a diving catch in the end zone, but he just did it pretty well.
How about him getting his body, his hands, everything underneath and around the football without it hitting the ground and causing some doubt in the minds of the people who have to look at this and possibly review it. What a tremendous effort and a great catch.
And now he'll tuck it and run. And just a short gain that time as they're able to get him down.
I feel like we're going to see more and more of this continue to flow into the NFL game, and that is the quarterback run game. Not successful here going for 2, but it's not something that people shy away from totally anymore either.
In particular, do you think more so around the goal line?
I think so. Anytime it's short yardage, anytime you can go ahead and keep the ball in the hands of the quarterback who's athletic, you go ahead and do that rather than risk a handoff or a pitch.
They just couldn't get it done there, though. 2-point try fails. They start on the ground with Nick Chubb. And he's upended after a gain of 2 out to the 27th. Give him a couple on the carry there. 2nd and 8.
But not much on that run, Charles.
No, that's exactly the way to execute a run blitz there. They guessed correctly that they would move the ball on the ground, honed in on it, and stopped them. Mark that down for a win in the defense's column.
From the 27th, Mayfield. And, boy, that one drops incomplete, but if he was hit a fraction sooner, it may have been a fumble.
Oh, that's got to frustrate him a little bit because they nearly got to him there, and it would have been the first sack of the game. Instead, they're able to influence the release, and they did force the incomplete pass.
So the failure to connect on 2nd down, that leaves him staring up here at a 3rd and 8. From the gun, Mayfield. And Mayfield again with the interception, his 3rd. Picked off near the 42. And they will set up shop in enemy territory at the 42-yard line.
At the 42-yard line.
And they'll begin by running the option. And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. Myles Garrett has now recorded 10 sacks on the season.
This offensive line flat out cannot handle this pass rush. We've seen it demonstrated time and time again to the tune of 7 sacks in this game thus far.
Got to assume this defense will be charging again here. It's 2nd and 15. Rolling to his right. Over the middle here to Brown. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. A first down there on a pickup of 25.
1st and 10 at the 23-yard line.
They'll run on 1st down. Haywood. Safety Grant Delpit up to make the play.
I have to think a major focus of the halftime meetings had to be figuring out how to create space for the running game to get operating.
Well, what you pointed out to me at half seems accurate. That line has struggled to sustain blocks.
Yeah, I would agree with that totally. They've got to focus on staying on their double teams at the 1st level, make sure that block's secured before they slide off and try and chip someone at the 2nd level.
Rolling to his left. And this is caught. Touchdown, Baltimore. From 19 yards away. And the Ravens have taken the lead. Well, this offense only mustered 3 points in the first half on that field goal. They picked up the pace now. 2 third-quarter touchdowns.
Hey, you remember that appearance we had last week in front of that crowd, and they asked about halftime adjustments and all that was going on. And remember what I said? It's not always an adjustment at halftime. Sometimes just remembering the game plan and playing better, tuning it up and just working through it methodically. They got it done in this case.
Of course, I'll always remember that appearance because I had on a brown belt with black shoes, and you pointed that out in front of the crowd. So thanks for that.
I said that out loud?
You did.
My bad.
That's fielded on the back line of the end zone.
Take over 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
The Browns drive about to get started. They're sort of seeing themselves spiral out of control. Let's see if they can get things back on track.
And this is where the coach is walking that line of being calm and really being firm with his team. I had one tell me once, when we were having a tough patch, this too shall pass, this too shall pass, and finally we kept having a rough patch. He said, but you got to do something to make it pass, and that's what they have to do. They've got to get some control back, get themselves reasserted, and calm things down.
See if they can get calm and reassert themselves here. So now a fresh set of downs, 1st and 10 after roughing the passer. Following the penalty, Chubb, and he got blown up. Losing yardage on the play back at the 44. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11. A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. Play fake. Mayfield. He'll let it go deep for Beckham. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off at the 12. Just a little bit of a rough stretch. 6 interceptions now in these last 2 weeks combined.
I know the easy thing is to go back to mechanics, footwork, things of that nature. I'm also wondering, is he getting fooled by what he's seeing on defense? Has the scouting report changed? Are they showing him things different than what he expected? For the 2nd week in a row, he's throwing it to the guys in the wrong color shirts.
Yeah, he better figure, whatever the reason is, he better figure it out.
He was brought down by...
I really enjoy watching Lamar Jackson run those RPOs, Charles, but I'll tell you what, it's tough calling play-by-play because you don't know whether he handed it off or kept it.
Makes you focus, doesn't he? You've got to try and stay with it, and even when we do, we often can get it wrong because our eyes naturally go to him because he creates big plays. But if you're a runner and you're playing with Lamar Jackson, aren't you happy? He creates so much concentration on him, it should open up things for you.
A gain of 13, it's a 1st down.
Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? Has had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say, maybe that gives him a little juice because you're right, he struggled, especially in that 1st half.
Yeah, and I know the great ones always think to themselves, just hang in there. I'm just one big carry away from busting this open. That's a good start for him.
Jackson on 1st down. And he's got his man in stride, complete.
Let's get that
all the way in for a Ravens touchdown. A big play there. A dynamo since the break. 3 third-quarter touchdowns. And the Ravens will extend their lead.
And this is obviously quite a performance. And most of the time when we talk about someone putting a team on their back, I think we're talking about a guy who runs the football. In this case, it's a guy out wide catching it, and he's done exactly that, truly leading his team right now towards victory.
3 touchdown catches. He's been the headliner. Tucker with the extra point, and the lead is up to 8. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback.
25-yard line.
The Browns drive about to get started. And here we are almost through 3 quarters of play, and this passing game still has not really found any kind of rhythm.
Put it mildly, because they're not even over 100 yards yet. And in today's NFL, where it's a pass-first league, that is quite surprising. Not many teams patient enough to stick with the run. Everybody wants to advance the ball through the air. They've got to get their timing back.
So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12. Mayfield. Got a man, and he hits him in stride. That catch good for only a yard, and it'll be 3rd down.
Well, if you do read man coverage, Brandon, the drag route's a pretty good one to run against it because you're running away from people on it.
On 3rd down, Mayfield. And that one not to be. It's incomplete. So they couldn't hook up as time has now run out on this 3rd quarter of play. Back now in Baltimore. It's the Browns with a deficit. They're trailing, but with the football here to start the 4th. And this is away. It's a high kick, and he got all of it. Taken in at the 11. Good blocking there, nearly sprung him. As it is, it'll go as a 19-yard return. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. Their defense got to stop, force the punt, and now you really start to monitor the clock as they nurse this slim lead. And he went nowhere. He'll lose yardage back to the 29. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
Sometimes you just sit back and marvel at what he can do defensively. Speed, strength, quickness, he's the whole package. And that package just wrapped up the runner for a loss.
On 2nd and 11 now. Jackson, blitz coming, and down he goes. Charles, you'd said the magic number was probably right around 20 for this defense because they're facing one of the top 5 offenses in the league in terms of points scored. They've had their moments, but this offense just a little too good, isn't it?
They really are, because no matter what you do to make an adjustment on defense, they've had an answer for it.
The Ravens going to use the second of their timeouts. That's going to leave them with just one remaining here in this fourth quarter. The Ravens on 3rd down. They've struggled to the tune of 2 for 8 so far. This will be 3rd and 15. Jackson. Now the ball comes loose. And this is picked up by the Browns. And they will take over at the 26-yard line.
I know when you're looking at the scoreboard clock, we're getting near the end of this game, but they were in what was really called 4-minute offense, and that's practice, being taking care of the football, taking time off the clock, not giving them a chance to come back. But bottom line is, what did I say in the beginning? Taking care of the football. That didn't happen.
Didn't do it, a costly turnover.
Well, as far as plays go, there's nothing to write home about on that one because that one gets some negative yardage. But if you do want to find a positive, he found a way to get out of bounds and stop the clock.
So now they have to contend with 2nd and 13 after the first down run goes backwards. Here's a throw out wide, complete to his running back right side. And he'll be a little shy of the 25 here at the 26-yard line. So the screen good for only 2. Now it's 3rd down.
3rd down.
Here's Mayfield. Steps away to his left. And finding the tight end Hooper. The completion there winds up a wash, and it'll bring up 4th down.
They dialed up the blitz on 3rd down, and your worry as a defense that they can hit you with a big play in that situation. Instead, the blitz pays off, able to rally to the football and make the play.
And Parkey's kick is good. And that'll get the lead down to 5. So an interesting call there to take the 3. I mean, I guess they're thinking that their hands were tied, but, you know, fourth quarter, that field goal might not help them that much in the end.
Yeah, eventually they're going to need the touchdown. The thinking must have been they didn't feel confident about picking it up there, hoping maybe on defense they can get better field position, get a turnover, get a better play, and then they'll have a chance to attack the end zone.
10 at their own 25-yard line.
The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going. They're holding on right now to that slim advantage in a one-score game. And you hear a lot about 2-minute offense and 4-minute offense. Obviously, the 4-minute offense applies here. How do they run that effectively?
Yeah, really what the 4-minute offense is you're just trying to grind the clock. So you want consistent gains, steady gains. Doesn't have to be big plays, but it has to be plays that gets first downs and keeps the ball away from your opponent.
But certainly throwing the ball is in the mix here.
It certainly is. Just make sure that you're careful with it. And again, get those first downs, keep possession of the football.
Right back to him on first down. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12. The defense was ready for the run-pass option, diagnosed it perfectly.
Not only did they stack him up at the point of attack, but he was met by a host of light-colored jerseys.
Second and 12. They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. And he's dropped right at the 40. Gain of 3.
He's tackled at the 40.
And this is an absolutely big third down that's been set up here, partner, and there's no other way to put it. The defense has to get a stop here if they have any hopes of winning this game.
Pastor, you said big third down. I'd put the word big in capital letters here.
I deserve that. It's time to learn that. Mess around and put that thing over your permit.
The Ravens on third down. Not so hot. 2 for 9 to this point. This is 3rd and 9. Off the play fake. Here's Jackson. And a throw there going to be incomplete. He shook his head right when he released that throw. He knew it was going to be a little off target.
Yeah, the excitement got him on that one. Wasn't able to control the fact the receiver was open, and it would have been an easy throw.
The Ravens send their punter out now as he's on for the 5th time here today. And the kick's away as he angles this one for the sideline. And they'll play keep away from the returner as this one will be marked out of bounds at the 13-yard line. Pretty good spot. The Browns drive about to get started. Their defense accomplished step 1 of the mission. They forced the punt. Now they'll look to erase that deficit and take a 4th quarter lead. And he'll get this one up to about his 14. So the Browns in possession of the football here as we get you reset. They come up on a 2nd down now in a game that looks like it's going to go down to the wire. He didn't seem in a rush. I guess they just didn't know where the play clock was.
I think you're right about that because there was no hurried movements there, right? No up-tempo at all. Clock just ran out. I think he was as surprised as maybe his bench was.
Back to throw. And that'll be incomplete. Took a pretty good shot as he tried to pull that one in. Couldn't hang on 3rd down.
Now we're in the situation where the quarterback's got to take full charge of his huddle. Got to totally command it, make sure all eyes are on him. All focus is locked in. Going to call multiple plays and go over different situations and scenarios to make sure everyone is on the same page.
He'll look to throw. Escaping the pressure right. And that is incomplete.
That was an interesting look there because as soon as he got outside the pocket, I thought he was going to take off and run for yardage. But what often happens now with these quarterbacks who can move, defenses want to try and keep bodies in front of them. And I think that discouraged him from taking off and made him try a pass downfield that fell incomplete.
And down by 5, they've got to go for it here on 4th down. Here's Mayfield. And that is incomplete. They had to go for it with such little time remaining. And now, boy, the ball's going to go over on downs here inside the 10-yard line. It's 1st and goal, and a late touchdown at this stage could officially salt this one away. They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. Yeah, this play doesn't go anywhere. Backwards, losing yardage to the 11. Now the Browns will use the first of their 3 timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming 2nd down play.
At the 11-yard line.
keep it on the ground. Haywood, and he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. After that run, still a good amount of meat on the bone here for this third down play. Can you envision them putting this in the air?
Totally. I mean, look at who he has under center right now. If you can't trust him with the football, you can't trust anyone. And frankly, to me, I want the ball down the stretch. Get the first down, keep it in the hands of my offense. I don't want to turn it over to them and rely on my D.
And he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game. The Browns will quickly use their third and final timeout as they'll get it with just under 90 seconds remaining.
Field goal. A 33-yard attempt.
And the 10-year vet knocks it through the goalpost. And the drive will wind up yielding 3. From a defensive perspective, though, I think maybe they're saying, hey, we did what we needed to do, kept this a one-score game.
Yeah, without a doubt, because they were able to bleed some time off the clock, right? Put themselves in a good position, but it's not out of reach yet, okay? Being able to hold them to a field goal means that they do have a chance to come back and win this game.
At their own 18-yard line.
The Browns drive about to get started. They're down here in a one-score game, but the time, it's a factor, but it's not a huge factor right now, is it?
It's really not, because this amount of time gives them a chance to run their offense, to go through play sequences. And this is what they work on every week in practice, usually on a Friday. They go over this type of a situation, late-game situation. What are we going to do when we have the opportunity? They've called these plays a bunch of times. Now's their chance to execute them.
They have the opportunity now. Here's the execution. And he finds his target. It's Marquise Goodwin. And he's able to get up here to the 26.
A gain of 13.
Now Mayfield.
2nd and 2. At the 26.
And, a crusher there as it's intercepted. Picked off at the 40. Charles, whatever's going on between his ears right now, it's just not completely calculated correctly. 7 picks between last week and this week after that one.
And they always say the most important part of a player is those 6 inches between the ears. But right now, it's all those interceptions that are going on. So whoever his trusted confidant is on the sidelines, I don't know if it's the offensive coordinator, the quarterback's coach, maybe the backup quarterback, that's who he needs to get with now and get himself calm.
After the interception, here's Jackson. And he can't get a throw away. He's taken down. Myles Garrett racking up sack number 12 for him on the year. And they weren't in zone coverage. They were in man, and each man did his job.
And that looked like vintage, old-school coverage, didn't it? Man coverage reminded me of an old Raiders team. They had a Hall of Famer at one point.
Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Greedy Williams picks it off.
They'll take over 1st and 10 at their own 16-yard line.
The Browns drive about to get started. Well, this is just an exercise in futility. Do you even bother running a play here offensively?
I wouldn't, because now is not going to erase what's happened during the game. So after it's over, you're going to go to the film, find out where the game was really lost. But this is not a situation now where you're going to make up for anything.
We'll see what they do here.
Today's final score, Ravens.
Going into the final play of this game, they knew that they needed some type of a miracle there at the very end, but they couldn't get it done. However, we were treated to really a spectacular affair.
Even though they didn't finish it off, you're exactly right. They took us down to the last play. We're still, you were wondering, could it happen? Possibly, even though we both knew it was a long shot.
So for the Ravens, they continue to put themselves in position for a first-round bye as they move to 8-2. And they will hit the road next week to take on the Pittsburgh Steelers. Meanwhile, for the Browns, they come back to the pack a bit as their record falls to...
Stuck in my ways. They say I'm the chosen one to see it in my face. Get this this one and I'm holding on. I can't be replaced. I just take a shit for the sprit. We on track for the win. Celebrate the win again. Celebrate the win again. Take a shit for the sprit. We on track for the win. Celebrate the win again. Celebrate the win again. Yeah, son can't trust me. Got a brand new visor. Yeah, you're friend smart, but my boy's wiser. Yeah, get the job done like the equalizer. Now I'm down up a drink, 'cause tonight I'ma die like Michael Phelps. Hey, diving in this pool. I don't know what hell. I'm just telling you the truth. I heard a flare gun. I'm ready to race. No, I don't fear nothing. Stuck in my ways. They say I'm the chosen one. See it in my face. Get this one and I'm holding on. I can't be replaced. I just take a shit, but it's free. We on track for the win. Celebrate the win again. Celebrate the win again. Take a shit, but it's free. We on track for the win. Celebrate the win again. Celebrate the win again. Get this right on fit. Look, let's bump it. Don't mind me seizing the moment. Energy up my body burning. And my stomach keep up tossed. Stop moving, I can't control it. All that's breath and I can't hold it. You gotta give it all I got. This for the ones that think I'm joking. This for real, for real. Like we bust off half of. Yeah, I'm sweating, babe. Must be all them happy meals. I don't know how happy feels, but damn, I'm tryna find. She say I got sex appeal. I think it's 'cause I'm worth that gun. I'm ready to race. No, I don't fear nothing. I'm stuck in my ways. They say I'm the chosen one. See it in my face. Get this one and I'm holding on. I can't be replaced. I just take a shit, but it's split. We on track for the win. Celebrate the win again. Celebrate the win again. Take a shit, but it's split. We on track for the win. Celebrate the win again.
Get out my way, Lil. Get out my way, Lil. She gon' put it on me, that's a lot of it. 4 coops, 4 seasons, drop the top of it. Bust down, but my wrist, time to talk a lot of. I got both my girls, head to toe designer. Drip, little bit, little bit.